Hello everyone, welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione and welcome back to Low Fuel Motorsport. We're here at Snetterton today for the latest round of the GT3 Rookie Series. But before we get underway, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who left such positive and supportive messages following my last race at the Nürburgring. Anyone who watched that video on my channel will know that I was feeling pretty deflated come the end of that race. I wasn't even sure whether I wanted to continue online racing in ACC, but thanks to the overwhelming support and help from you guys, I've decided to give it another go. It's really helped to restore my faith in this sim. So here we are, we're on the grid at Snetterton, and much like the previous race, we are well off the pace. We're going to be starting at the very back of the grid, 25th position out of 25 cars, and staggeringly our lap time of 1:51 was 2 seconds slower than any other car on the grid. Yeah, that's right, we're 2 seconds behind the driver right in front of us in 24th. It really is quite humbling to see just how fast all these drivers in LFM are, and it's a stark reminder of how much work we need to do in this sim to get up to pace. But one of the main pieces of advice you guys gave me was just to concentrate on getting out of the rookies for now. You told me not to worry too much about finishing positions or lap times, just concentrate on getting these 10 races under my belt and also staying out of trouble, keeping that safety rating high. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. And as we approach turn 1, we're just going to hang back and keep a little bit of distance between us and the rest of the pack in front. If there is carnage, we don't want to get caught up in it, and there is one car off to the right on the grass, another one rejoining. And that's actually the number 1 plate, Murat Gürkan, so there must have been an instant further up the grid for these front runners to be right at the back of the pack. There's a little bit of bumping as we go through that sharp right-hand hairpin. It looked like everyone got through okay. We were a little bit sluggish on exit. We've lost a bit of ground to Thomas Demant in that bright green BMW, although he's run wide onto the grass, so that will give us a position back. And there's another driver out on the grass to the right, and another one catapulting off the barrier and T-boning that car onto the infield. This is mayhem. We may just have picked up 3 positions from cars crashing on the straight there, although it might just be 2. That looks like Dennis Eric rejoining in the BMW. He was the car that got T-boned, so he's still in front of us. There's a car going off into the barrier on the right-hand side. They are crashing everywhere on this first lap at Snetterton. And Eric in front took a huge hit from that car spearing across the track. He might have damage. That might give us the chance to get around him and gain another position, but we'll gain one anyway because there was another car out to the left spinning into the barrier. That was the Audi of Kevin Zayner by the looks of it. Dear me, I've lost count of how many cars have crashed out on this opening lap. It has been absolute madness, but we're in a decent position now, 18th out of 25, so we've gained 7 places thanks to drivers crashing out. We've managed to keep our noses clean as well. No contact, no damage, no instant points. But now, of course, we've got the problem of faster drivers catching us up. A quick glance in the rearview mirror shows that Thomas Demant is closing fast. We lost Demant in that green BMW earlier in the lap, but he is closing in on us fast here. We know from qualifying that we're a lot slower than everyone else on the grid. We were only managing 151s. Everyone else was lapping in the 149s at least. And it looks like Demant's got a real run on us here. Is he going to make a move on the inside? He is. You know what? I'm just going to run it out wide and let him through safely. Lawford jumps through as well, and so might Sidhu. Sidhu's on the inside as we approach this hairpin. He's got the inside line. There's not much we can do about that. Someone else has run wide. That looked like Dennis Eric, so that is going to leave us in 21st position. Well, that first lap was chaos. Let's go back and check out the replay and see how we lost some of these drivers. Starting with the very first turn and the collision between the 2 Audis. Yeah, the number 4, Kalvinder Singh Sidhu, just getting a tap from the number 1, Murat Gürkan. They both spin out. Watch it from the chopper cam. Gürkan in the black Audi, just trying to sniff up the inside, clips the rear of the number 4. They both go off. And then on the approach to turn 2, there was even bigger contact, but incredibly all the cars managed to stay on the track. There's the big hit. Ravi Hector in the number 19 Audi, absolutely clobbering the car in front of him, riding on board with Hector now, just brakes a little bit too late. There's the hit, and it's a big one, but incredibly they all survive. But the same can be said in the next corner. We lost a bunch of drivers here. Firstly, Thomas Demant running a little bit wide onto the grass, but then all hell broke loose. Watch what happens in front. There are cars bouncing off the wall, crashing into other cars. It is absolute carnage. But what triggered that turn of events? Well, it started with the number 23 Audi of Steve Lawford just getting a bit out of shape on exit from turn 3. The other cars behind had to take avoiding action. We're right on board with one of them now, the number 1. Can we see him having to swerve to the left to avoid that spinning car? He went right into the car next to him. Then there was more contact and there's nothing he could do. It was a huge shunt. Let's watch it again from the chopper cam. Keep your eye on that black Audi of Gherkin. He's going to swerve to avoid the car in front right there. Then he touches the Ferrari of Alexander Kraut. Kraut taps him back. That sends him into the wall and he spears across the track into the path of that unfortunate BMW. On board with Dennis Eric now in the BMW. We can see it boiling over in front of us. There's the second nudge and Eric can't do anything about it as that Audi comes right across the track. Eric now is careering towards the oncoming traffic, but he does exactly the right thing. Manages to get it stopped on the grass and then rejoins safely. But while he's rejoining, there were yet more cars crashing out. Ravi Hector in the 19 Audi getting a little bit wide, but nowhere near as wide as Kraut in the Ferrari, sliding out into the barrier. We can just see there Kraut gets a little bit of contact from the Audi of Kevin Zayner by the looks of it. However, the very next corner, Zayner himself spins out, losing the rear. That sends him onto the grass, and that is yet another position gained for us. Well, we managed to get to the end of the first lap without any more dramas, but the faster drivers behind did close in on us pretty quickly, so I thought the safest thing to do was to let these quick guys through. We lost 3 positions there, however, we're going to get one back. Look at Dennis Eric in front, didn't get it stopped in time into the hairpin and runs out onto the grass. And if I'm being brutally honest, I can't see me being able to stick with these guys. They've already opened up a 1.5 second advantage. We're only halfway through lap 2 here, so I'm not fast enough to stick with them. All I can do is concentrate on my own race and try and stay out the way. When the faster guys come, we run a little bit wide, miss the apex into that right-hander. That's going to give Kevin Zayner the chance to dive up the inside, so I don't want to turn in on him. I left him the space to get through safely. But that has dropped us down to 22nd position, and to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with Zayner either. We are just so off the pace here. I've practiced on this track quite a lot, and yet still we're 2 seconds a lap slower than anyone else on this grid. But the yellow flags are out though. What can we expect at the end of this long straightaway? Oh, there's a car rejoining. No, not right in front of us. We get on the brakes. We have to come to an almost complete stop to allow that McLaren of Calvin Leidekers to get back on the track. That was close. Yeah, it was my own fault that lost us the position against Kevin Zayner and just missed the apex into this left-hander there. Run out too wide. Now we're offline. That gives Zayner the chance to make a dive up the inside, which he does do. I give him the space to let him through. It was my mistake. Couldn't do anything about that, and we know that Zayner's faster anyway. However, at the end of the lap, we almost got one position back. Calvin Leidekers gets nudged out into this chicane. Oh, he can't have been too happy about that. Let's ride on board with the driver behind, Luis Enrique Gaetano. He looks up the inside. There's not really space, but he nudges him right out onto the grass and then carries on. And yeah, I've got a bit of sympathy for Leidecker here. He's got the line coming into the turn. Watch the car behind. Just has a look up the inside, nudges the rear and spins that car out. And now, of course, Leidecker's in a hurry to rejoin, and he's going to do so right in front of me. Actually, Zayner just gets around him, but I have to slam on the brakes to let that car rejoin in front of me. That was close. Well, we're going to return to the live action towards the end of the 4th lap. We're approaching the halfway point of this race, and as you can see, it's pretty lonely now. My lack of pace is really becoming apparent. The drivers in front, all more than 5 seconds ahead, and look on the leaderboard, they're clocking times of 1:49. I'm going to cross the line now, and it's a 1:51.6. We're still 2 seconds slower than any of these drivers. In my last video, a lot of you guys correctly guessed that I was running default setups. I'm just not experienced enough in ACC yet to have a look at setups, and it's clearly costing me dear because we lost so much ground on the cars in front. However, we did close in on Steve Lawford in the Audi because he got a bit out of shape coming into this left-hander. He gets out to the grass, manages to rejoin, but that does allow us to close the gap, so we're going to rejoin the live action. Lap 8, 3/4 of the way through the race now. As you can see, Lawford in front in 21st, but he's 11 seconds down the road, and between us, we've got a lap driver, Krauk. And I wonder how much time I am losing because of this default setup. Sadly, I've just not got the time to spend on ACC tinkering with setups and doing loads of practice laps. However, there has been an incident in front. There are two drivers off. Lawford is one of them. We've got past him. Krauk is the other one. So has there been a coming together between these two guys? Well, it doesn't appear that there was, because this is Lawford in the Audi and he is all on his own, so he's going to lose this completely by himself as the rear steps out and he does a 180 on the track, so he's going to try and rejoin. Is he going to take out Krauk on the rejoin? Well, he's not. Get it back onto the track very easily there. He's going to rejoin. Now there's Krauk coming in from the grass, so it was two separate incidents. This is Krauk's Ferrari. Is he going to lose it the same? He is, but he's going to lose it with the curb on the inside, just clipping it. And as a fellow Ferrari driver, I know all too well how these Ferraris don't deal with curbs. 3 minutes to go now and we're just about to start lap 10. We're still in 21st position and Lawford is around 7.5 seconds behind, so we're fairly comfortable at the moment. Still a couple of laps left in this race and our lap times are beginning to come down. Look, a 150.7 then. We've also done a 150.6. That's the best lap of the race, so we're still not getting into the 149s, but we are getting closer. There are some signs of encouragement there. And we're also doing a fairly decent job of sticking with Alexander Krauk ahead now. Now, I don't know if Krauk is carrying damage, but it is encouraging that we're not letting him get away here. I mean, I know he's a lap driver, but still, he is quicker than us. Oh, he's out on the grass there. That is surely going to let us close in on him, although he didn't seem to lose any time. Oh, and he's going to gain time now because we completely missed the apex into that left-hander. It's getting towards the end of this race. I think I'm starting to lose some concentration. That was a sloppy mistake. Oh, there's an even sloppier mistake ahead, though, because Krauk has gone torpedoing off into the grass on the left. He clipped the outside curb again, and he didn't get away with it this time. Yeah, we've seen Krauk run his Ferrari a little bit wide, exiting corners a couple of times, and I think he just pushed his luck a bit too far this time. Out he goes onto the grass. So even though Krauk was a lap driver, he was the only company I had for the second half of this race. We are completely on our own now as we approach the last lap, and we're going to make a big mistake, completely missing our braking point out onto the grass. And just when I was thinking that we had a comfy advantage over Steve Lawford behind, we go and make a foolish error like that. Lawford is going to close right in on us now. That gap has halved to 3.5 seconds. And once again, it was a lapse in concentration at the end of the race. I missed the braking point, can't get the car stopped. Luckily, we managed to keep it pointing in the right direction, which is something that Lawford couldn't do. He wasn't able to take advantage of that slip up by me because a few corners later, he was going to make a mistake of his own, losing the rear, and he also goes out onto the grass. So that gave me my breathing room back, and from then on, we were able to take it home and finish in 21st position. So yeah, not a great result at all on paper. However, I took the advice that you guys gave me. I put all my efforts into concentrating on staying safe, staying out of trouble, avoiding any danger and bringing it home with no damage to the safety rating. And that's exactly what we've done. Okay, we finished in 21st, but we didn't pick up many incident points, and that is going to give our safety rating a welcome boost. So here are the classified results then. Desmond Fitzpatrick, your winner, Rene Tanzer in second, and Matt Fish third. All three of them with best laps in the 146s. That is seriously impressive. Those are very quick lap times. We'll need to go to page 2 to see us. There we are, down in 21st position. A fastest lap of 150.6. So we did go 1 second quicker than we managed in qualifying, but we're still well off the pace of everyone else on this grid. And what did it do for our rating? Well, we started the race with 1,497. We've lost 48. But I'm certainly not too worried about that at this stage because I feel my rating's a little bit higher. Started with 1,500 as a default in Low Fuel Motorsport, so I think it does need to drop a fair bit so I can be put in lower splits. Currently, we keep getting entered into the top split of these rookie races, and as you can see from this video here, we're not good enough to be anywhere near these top splits yet, so a lower rating might make the racing a bit closer. But for now, I've just got to practice on this sim, I think. Try and get a little bit more comfortable with the car, the handling and the physics. It still doesn't feel quite right for me, having been used to the other sims, but I guess it'll come with time. But for now, my immediate goal has got to be to get these 10 rookie races under my belt to try and get out of this division as quickly as possible. I'll be back to let you know how I get on. Thanks ever so much for watching.